Indy to go by all the time. Deal? Yes. Like the old days? No, it's not too far from it. Have you seen Sam Foote? No, he had heart bypass. Look, yeah. He looked rough. He looked rough. All right, everybody on the inside, come on in, get a good seat. Let's go, everybody on the inside. Here we go. All right, Red Angus Bull to start with. 185, $86, 85, $6, $6, 85, money, $6, 87, 87, not a 7, 8, 88, 88, 88, 88, 87, 88, 8, 187, Lone Star 1. One eighty four five, 84, 95, money 5, 86, 85, 86, 87, 88, 88, 9, 89, 90, 91, 81, 2, 81, 2, 3, 3, 193, now 3, 192, Lone Star 1. Watch him get one. It's happening 165 now $6, 5, $6, 5 now $6, money $6, 165 now $6, 6, 165 Marty. Number 17. $195, $96, $195, $96, $195, 6, 7, 97, 98, 98, 9, 99, 99, $2, 1, $2, 1, 201, 202, 202, 202, 201, $2, 201, Lone Star 1. $188.9, $188.9, $999, $88.9. We're getting more. 88.9, 189. On the money now 9, 189, 89, 89, 89, 89, 89, 188. Lone Star 1. Okay, with the cows, right in there with the cows. One 86, 87, 87, another 7, 86, 87. Hold the gate, Gilbert. Hold it. One 86, 8, 75, 76, 77, $8, $8, $9, $9, 78, $9, 59, 78, 9, 179, 179, 80, 81, 81, 81, 2, 82, 82, 92, 92, 3, 4, 84, 84, 5, 7, 7, 87, 186, Lone Star 1, right in there with the cows. Fincher Boom. $195, $96, $6, better $95, $96 on the money, $6, 95, 6, 7, 97, 98, 99, $199, $199, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $199, Lone Star 1. Very good boat. It's happening. 180 now on. 180. He would one, one on the money now on. 181, 81, 2, 82, 82, 3, 3, 4, 84, 5, 85, 84, now 5, a second, 86, 86, 185, Lone Star 1. Good bid. Not a lot. Oh, but a good bid. No. It's happening at 250 now too. 250 now too. Two with a $250 $2 250 now too. With about $2 $2 250 now one. But $1 1. 251 251 251. Okay, what you want? That weighs 1050. 250 on the money now one. 251, everyone, another one, another one, everyone, another one, two. 252, 252, 4, 54, 56, 256, 58, 258, 58, 58, 58, 256, Nolan 29. Seven here, 260 now two, 260 on money, 24688, $1.72, bit 4, bit 6, 78, 80, bit 282, 284, 84, 86, 88, 290, 90, 90, bit 90, 290, 288, Nolan 27. $170 now one, everyone that one, $170 now one, $1.71, $1.70 now one, everyone that one, $1.70 now one, everyone that one, 60 now one, $1.61, 23, 23, bit 4, bit 4, 5, 60, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, $8, $9, $9, 71, bit 2, bit 3, bit 3, 4, 74, 174, 173, Marty 4. 175, $6, 175, now $6, $6, better 75, now $6, money 7, 77, 8, $8, $9, 80, 1, 181, 2, 3, 84, 84, 84, 84, 184, 5, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 184, Marty number 17. It's happening. 160 now one. 160 on the money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $5, $6, $6, $6, 7, 7, 8. $8, $9, 70. 1, 2, 1, $2, day. 171. Marty 4. Marty 4. It's happening. 188, 9, $188, $9, $88, 9, money 9, 90, 91, $1, 2, $1, 2, 3, 94, 94, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 194, Lone Star 1. $7, 190, now one, everyone $1 money, one, money 10, now one, 192, 92, 93, 93, 94, 94, 5, 95, 5, 5, 5, 6, 96, 96, 6, 195, Lone Star 1. Okay, sell 2 little ones, you can take them all. Sell 2 little ones, you can take them all. It's happening. 150 now 2.5. 150 now 2.5. 2.5 money 2.5. 155, 55, 55, 60 now 5. Now 70 now 5. 180, 80, 180 now 5. 185, 90, 90, 95. 195, $2, 5, but a bit of 10, but a bit of 15, but a bit of 20, but a bit of 220. 220 now 5, but a bit of 230, but a bit of 5, but a bit of 40, but a bit of 5. 245, 50, 50, 55, but a 255, 60, but a 5. 265, 70, but a bit of 275, but a bit of 5, 80, 80, but a bit of 80. 280, 280, 280, 285, 85, 85, 85, 90, 90, 290, 290, 285, Lady 21, Lady 21. 140 now 5, 140 now 5, 140 on money now 5, 50, 55, 65, 75, 175, 80, 180, 80, 180, 180, 180, 80, 180, 175, Tom 5, Tom number 5. Seven here, $2 now five, $2 on the money now five, $2 now five at a $2 now five, $2 now five at a 10, $210, 15, 20, 225, 30, 30, 55, 55, 40, 55, 50, 255, 260, 55, 70, 55, 280, 55, 285, 285, 55, 90, 295, 95, 95, 95, now $3, $3, $295, lady 21. Three more. We buy you three or more. 155, 157, 155, 79, 61, 35, 65, 79, $9, 71, 73, 75, 77, $9, 9, 179. That's on three head. 179, 81, 183, 83, 5, 87, 87, 87, 87, 87, 185, 87, 7, 7, 185. Troy, 15. Hold your ticket. Sell a cow going out. Over there, 150 now one, 150 now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 55, $6, 7, 158, 58, 9, 59, 61, 1, 2, 3, 4, 65, 6, 6, 165, Lone Star on the scales, Lone Star. Troy 15 coming. Little young cow, Tabernang, 116, now 5, 116, now 5, 55, 95, 75, 80, 180, 188, 80, 185, 90, 190, 190, 195, 95, 95, 190, now 5, $2, $2, 195, Lady 15, Lady 15. Okay, that's from okay, they have not been palpated. That is not our mark from producers. 140 now 1, 140 keep it to 1, 1, 140 keep it to 1, 1, 1, 1, 141, 1, 2, 4, 146, 146, 144 now 6, 8, 48, 148, 48, 150, 150, 150, now 50, 150, 150, 150, 150, 148, Tom, number 1, Tom 1. 125, 127, 125, $6, 126, 7, $7, $7, 8, 28, now 30, now 2, now 2, now 2, now 4, now 6, 138, 38, 40, 142, 4, 144, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, 142, Tom 1, Tom 1. Same deal, not marks from producers. Tabernahan, 130 now 1, 131, 1, 130, 1, money 1, 131, 1, 2, 3, 33, 133, 34, 35, 36, 37, 37, 37, 8, $38, 40, 142, $2, 4, 6, 48, 148, 50, 150, 152, 152, 4, 54, 57, 6, 154, Tom 1, Tom 1. All right, new deal. Tabernahan, 144.95, 144.95, money 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 48, $9, $50, 151, 150, and that'll be Marty 25. Okay, watch how she travels. Tabernahan, $70, $1, $70, down 1, 2, 71, 2. 71, 2, 3, 2, 2, $1, 72, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 77, 77, $8, $8, $9, 9, 80, 1, 2, 83, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 86, 87, 7, 8, 88, 89, 89, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 89, Javier 11. Tabernahan, 270, now 2.5, 270, now 2.5. On money, now 2.5, 270, 2.5, 5, 75, 75, 7.5, 80, 8, 2.5, 5, 85, 87, 90, 290, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 290, Nolan 27. Okay, where you want him, Billy? Cap 31 on the Nolan. $170 now 5, $170 on the money now 5, $80, $180 now 5, $190 now 5, now $2.05, 10, and about 15, but about 20, $2.25, $30, but about 40, but about 50, $2.50, $2.50, $2.45 now 50, now 50, now 50, $2.45, lady 21. All right, they thought she'd be bred. 120 now 120 and now 120 on the money now 1 EBIT 1 to 1 EBIT 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 121 120 Marty 8 98 Marty 98 Marty 98.
Okay, Freedom Longhorns, more Longhorns, Longhorn Day. My goodness.
It's happening. $125, $126, $125, 67, 27, 27, 28, 128, 128, $129, $9, $9, $28, $9, 30, 130, 130, 930, 130, 130, 130, 130, 129, Marty 98. Marty 98. Tell a little one. It's happening. $2 now 5 on the money now 5. $2 now 5. $2 now 5. $2 now yes sir. $2 5 5 5 5. $2 now 5. 5 5 5 10. 210 215 220. But better 5. But better 30. But better 2 30 30 30 30 30 230 225. Russell number 3. What about one or both, 220 now 5, 220 now 5, 220 on the money now 5, 30, 230 now 5, 45 at about 50 at 5 at 260 at 5, 270 now 5 at about 275, 80 at 5, 25, 90, 95, 95, $3 at 5 at about 10 at about 10, 15 at about 20, 325, 325 at 5 at 5, 320, lady 21, lady 21, 175, 80, 175, 80, 80 money, 81, 80, 185, 90 at about 195, now $2, now 5, now 10, now 15, now 20, now 5, 230 with a bit of 5, with a bit of 30, 545, 250 with a bit of 5, 255, 65, with a 75, with a bit of 80, with a bit of 5, with a 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 280, Russell number 3. Let's go. Russell 1, Russell 1, Russell 1. Oh, there, $2 now 5, $2 now 5, money 5, $2 now 5, $2 now 5, 5, 5, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, $2 Tom 5. I'm sorry, Tom 5, Tom 5. Right here, $2. Here's your one. $2 now 5. $2 now 5. Money 5. 205, 205, $2 now 5. And about 5, 5, 5, 205, 205, 205. $2 Tom 5. Tom 3. Tom 3. Tom 3. Look at here, the black calf. 850 now 75, 858, 75 on the money, 75, 900 now a quarter, 9 half, 9 half, 75, $75,000 and a quarter, 10 half, 10 half, 10 half, 75, 1100 now a quarter, 11 a quarter, 11 half, 11 half, 11 a quarter, 11 half, 11 half, 75, 1200 now a quarter, half, 12 and a half, 75, 12, 75, 13 now a quarter, but a half, 30, 75, 14, but a quarter, 14 half, 14, 75, 1500, 15, 15, but a half, 1500, 1500, 1500, 1500, got to get real care, 1500, 1500, 1475, Russell 0. Sell spot over there, 160 now 5, 165 money 5, 160 now 5, 160 now 5, 5, 5, $5, 70, 170 now 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, 190, Tom 1, Tom 1. Little bit of pink eye right here, $2 now 5. $2 now 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 80, 285, 90, better 290, now 5, now $3, better $3, $3, $3, $3, $295, now 3, 3, 3, 3, better $3, 3, 295, that'll be Troy 44. Sell a red heifer, solid red heifer. $2.50 now 5, $250 now 5, money 5, $2.50 now 5, $250 now 5. Going out, $2.55, $255, $55, $55, $55, $60, $5, $2.70 now 5, $80, $285, $285, $85, $280. Tom 3, Tom 3. How about $170 now 5, $170 now 5, money 5, money 5, $175, $80, $185, $90, $5, $2, $2, $5, $10, $10, $15, $20, $220. Now 5, now 30, now 5, but 40, but 2, 45, 50, but 2, 55, 260, but 5, but 70, but 5, but 275, 75, 270, lady 21, lady number 95, lady 95, lady 95, $2.40, now 5, on the money 5, 55, 60, 55, but 70, 275, 80, but 280, but 85, 285, 285, 285, 285, 280, Nolan 29, Nolan 29. Steers, there's steers. 190 now 5, 190 on money now 5, 190 now 5, 190 now 5, 195, 195, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 195, 190, Troy 4, Marty 4, Marty 4, Marty 45, Marty 45. Look at that little rig. 1,400 and a half, 1,400 now half, 1,400 now half, 14 on the money now half, 1,400 now half, now half, 15, 15, 15 now half, 15 now 16, 1,600, 1,600, 1,600, 15 now 16 now half, 16 now, 16 now, 16, 25, 16, 25, 25, 25, 25, 1,600, Tom 2, Tom 2. Syllable 17, 170, now 1. 170 money, 1, 2, 4, 70, 4, 6, 78, 78, 80, 52, 182, 4, 824, 824, $1.84, $1.84, $1.84, 182, Marty 4, Marty 4. 72 now 5, $2 now 5, money 5, $2 5, 10, 10, 210, 15, 15, 15, 15, 20, 220 now 5, 30, 5, 40, 50, 255, 255, 60, 260, 255, Tom 1, Tom 1. Two more, you buy two headed. 360 now 5, 360 on the money now 5, 70, 55, 80, 55, 90, 55, 95, now $4, 5, 10, 4, 10, 15, 20, 55, 30, 435, 40, 445, 445, that's on to them, 445, 45, 45, 440, JD. 330 now 5, 335, 45, 55, 65, 375, 80, 90, 5, $4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 430, 435, 435, 35, 35, 40, 40, 44, 40, 435, D&D 30, H38, H38. $3.70 now 5, 375, 85, 90, 55, $4, 5, 10, 15, 415, 20, 5, 425, 25, 30, 430 now 5, 435, 40 now 5, 445, 50, 5, 455, 460, 5, 460, 570, 5, 480, 5, 90, 5, $5, $5 now 5, $5, H28, H28. I got a share of there, 310, 15, 310, 15, 15, 310, money 15, 215, 310, 15, 15, 20, 5, 325, 320, now 5, 25, 25, 25, 320, Troy number 6, Troy 6, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, money 5, $3, 5, 10, 10, 15, 320, 25, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 330, 330, 330, 325, Troy number 5, Troy 5. Heifer kind, heifer, sell a heifer, 360 now 5. 360 now 5, a little heifer, money, 5, and a 365. 365, high 5, and a bit of 5, and a bit of 70, but 5, and a bit of 375. 375, 80, 88, 80, 85, 385, 90, 90, 95, 95, 95, now $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $395. Kelso, thank you. It's happening. $4.95. $4 money. $5. $4.95. 10. 4, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, 5, 50, 455, 60, 5, 70, 475, 80, 5, 480, 80, 85, 85, 85, 485, 480, and that'll be even H4, H4, H4. Two 70, now 2.5, 270, now 2.5, now 5, 7.5, 82.5, 82.5, 282.5, 280, bit of bed, 2.5, 82.5, 82.5, 82.5, 280, Tom 3, Tom 3. 780, 280, now 5, 280, now 5, 280, now 5, 280, now 5, money 590, but 5, now $3, now 5, 10, 3, 10, 15, 20, 320, 320, 325, but 30, bit of 30, 330, 325, Wilford Wildy. It's happening. $3.50 now 5. $3.50 now 5. Money 5. $3.50 now 5. 60. 55. 70. 55. 80. 55. 90. $3.95. $4. $4. 5. $4. 5. $4 now 5. 5. $4. Troy 21. That's two big ones. Over there, 270 now 5, 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 275, 255, 250 on the money now 5, 255, 60 now 5, 270, 275, 270 now 5, 270 lady number 95, lady 95, 220 now 5, 220 now 5, 220 now 5, 220 on the money 530, 5, 40, 240, 235, 45, 245, 52, 50 now 5, 255, 260, 55, 70, 85, 80, 285, 285, 90, 95, 95, $3, $3, 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 320, 315, lady 21, lady 21, $2.50 now 5, 250 now 5, 250 now 5, money 5, 60, 5, 260 now 5, 5, 72, 75, 75, 80, 285, 285, 90, 295, $3, $3, $3, 295, lady number 95. Got a bull over there, but at $2 now, 50 now 5, 250 now money, now 5, now 60, now 5, now 70, now 580, 285, 285, 285, 285, 285, 285, 280, Nolan number 27. 7.5, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, a bit of 335, 40, 335, 40, 40, 45, about 45, 50, 355, 360, 360, bit of 60, 355, JD. Sell the ball face one. 7.5, 380, now 5, 380, money 5, 380, now 5, 85, 90, 5, $4, 5, $4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 425, 30, 5, 440, 5, 445, 5, 5, 440, and that'd be H38. 330 now 5, 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 335 right here, 330 now money 5, 330 Tom 3. $2 now 5, $2 now 5, money 5, $2 now 5, $2 now 5, $2 5, $2 5, $2 5, $2 5, $2 5, $2 Marty 4, Marty 45, Marty 45. It's up to $2.95, $2 money, $5, $2.95, $2 now, $5, $2 now, $5, $2 now, $5, $5, 10, 10, 10, 2, 10, 15, 20, 220, 5, 30, 230, 5, 40, 5, 245, 55, 55, 55, 60, 260, 255, Nolan 27. So little Brenna one, little Brenna bull. $72.50 now, 40 now, 5. 240 now, 5. Little one, 5. Money, 5. 245. 240 now, 5. 245, 50. 250 now, 5. 255, 65. 70, 5. 275. 275. 270. Lady number 94. $72.50 now, 5. 250 now, 5. 5. 255. 250 now, 5. Money, 5. 255, 60. 5. 270 now, 5. 80. 280, 285, 85, 90, 90, 90, 295, but 95, $3, $5, $305, $3, lady number 94, 5, lady 93, lady 93, lady 93. Still a big steer. $7, $3 now, 5. $3 now, 5. Money, 5, but 10, but 15, 20, but 5, but 30, but 335. 40, but 40, 340, 335 now, 40 now, 40 now, 40, 335 JD. Still a little steer. 340 now, 5. 340 on money, 550. 355, 355, 60. 70, 75, 375, 80, 80, 85, 85, 85, 385, 85, 85, 380, Troy, 5. Heifer, 290 now, 5. 290 now, 5. 290 now, 5 at a 290. On money, 5 at a 295, 95, 95, 95. 295, 95 now, $3, $3, $3, $3, 5. $3 now, 5 now, 5 now, 5 now, 5. $3 shoat number 6. Shoat 6. Silly boy there, $3 now, 5, $3 now, 5. $3 money, 5, 10, and 15, 20, but 5, but 30, but 5, but 40, but 5, 45, 53, 55, 360, but 5, but 370, but 5, but 75, 80, but 80, 80, but 380, 380, 380, 375, Brian Hoffman. Got a little steer, $3 now, 5. $3 money, 5, $3 now, 5. 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 340, 40 now, 40. 340, 340, 340, 335 JD. 280 now, 5. 280 on money, 590 now, 5. 95 now, $3, 5. 305, 55, 25, 7.5, 3.5, 10, 310, 310, 310, 310, 307.5. Nolan number 95. Nolan 95. It's $2 60 now, 5. 260 on the money now, 5. 70, 5, 80, 280, 280, 2.5. 2.5, 280 now, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 280. Nolan 27. It's $2 now, 5. $2 now, 5. $2 now, 5 now, 5. $2 now, 5. 10, $205, 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 20, 225, 225, 30, 230 now, 5, 40, 5, 250, 250 now, 50 now, 50 now, 50, 245, Javier, number 3. Single jackpot. 290 now, 5. 290 now, 5. On the money now, 5. 295, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95. $3 now, 5. $3 now, 5, 10. 3 and 10, 15, 15, 20, 5, 3, 25, 30, 3, 30, 30, 30, 30, 325, capital 34. All right, Cargill cat. They have at marking. They had Triangle 5 and was response and Vision 7. Should be 24 head in this first deal. You'll like the cattle. 24 head. $315, $17, $315, not 17, $315, on the money, 17, $315, $17, $17, $317, $19, $319, $19, now better 17, $19, $20, $320, now one, $1, $1, $321, $1, $1, $2, $2, not a day, $321, $22, $321, $22, $321, $22, 2, out the go, $322, $322, $321, Troy 22. Troy 22. At Triangle 5 with pre-response and Vision 7 at Market. Should be 15 head. You're buying 15 head. Us habit half, $3 now, 2.5, $3 now, 2.5. Oh, money, 2.5, $3 now, 2.5, 5, 305, 305, 305, 5, 5, 5, 7.5, 3, 7.5, $10, $10, $10, $10, $10, $10, 310, 310, 310, 310, 310, 310, 12.5, 312.5, 312.5, 312.5, 310, 311, 311, 311, 310, 311, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 311, 310, Troy 24. Little brother, 14 head up. 325, 7.5, 325, 327, 325 on the money, now 7, 325, 326, 325, 6, 7, 327, 7, 8, 328, 9, 329, 9, 30, 330, 331, able to 1, 1, 1, able to 1, 2, 332, 333, 333, 333, 34, 34, 34, 34, 334, 334, 334, 333, show you weight. They go to Troy. Troy. Got a bow, 7.5, $3 now, 2.5, $3 now, 2.5, $3 now, money, 2.5, $3 now, 2.5, 3, 2.5, 5, 305, 5, 5, bit of 2 and a bit of 5, 305, 305, 305, 305, 305, 3, 7.5, 3, 7.5, 7.5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 15, bit of 8, 15, 15, 15, 3, 15, 3, 12.5, JD. It's happening. 350 now, 2.5. 350 now, 2.5. 350 on the money now, 2.5. 350 now, 2.5. 5. 55, 7.5. 360, 2.5 at a pie, but a bit of 5, 7.5. 370, 2.5 at a pie, but a 375, 7.5, 780. 380, 2.5 at a 80, 2.5. 380, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 380, JD. Same cattle, handle the same way. It's happening 270 now, 2.5, 270 now, 2.5, 270 now, 2.5, 270 now, 2.5, 270, 2.5, 270 now, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 270, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 270, 2.5, 270, 2.5, 260, 2.5, on the money, 2.5, 265, 265, 260, 2.5, 63, 263, 260, 2.5, 3, 3, 3, 3, but a 3, 4, 264, now 5, 265, 66, 266, take her right along, 266, 266, 265, show number 8, he wants her. Okay, hold one if you need to. Okay, self 3 going out. 310, 12 and a half, 310, on the money, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 312 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 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 312 and a half, 310, Troy won. One or both, one or both. 220 now 5. 220 now 5. 220, 530, 230 now 30 now 30. 5, 235, 40 now 5. 245, 50, 50, 255, 260, 260, 255, 260, 260, 260, 255. Lady number 93. $2 now 5. 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 $2 5. $2 5. 160 now 5. 70. 170 now 5. 180. 185. 185. 190. 190. 190. 90. 190. 190. 190. 185. Javier number 4. Okay, one big one. Watch your right hind leg. $2 now 5. $2 now money 5. $2 now 5. $2 now 5. $2 5. 5 5 10. 210 15 15 215 220 now 5 30 55 40 55 245 245 5 5 5 245 240 now to be Troy 1. 310, 12, 310, 12, 310, 312, money 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 324, 326, 26, 28, 28, 328, 30, 330, 2, 4, 34, 34, 36, 338, 338, 40, 2, 4, 7, 8, 348, 52, 52, 52, 52, 350. Troy number 3. All right, I had an 8-way shot, Meyer Ranch. Boys, you talk about the goods. 320 now 2, 320 now 1, 320 now 1, even 1, 320 now 1, 320 on the money now 1, 320 now 1, even 1, even 1, 2, 322, 322, 321 now 2, 2, 3, 323, 324, 324, 324 now 5, 5, 5, a bit of 6, 326, 6 out of a bit of second, 5 and 6, 326, 326, 326. 325.50. They go to Troy. Show your weight. Boys, he got them good. $3 now 1. $3 now 1. If it went to 1, $3 now 1 on the money now 1. $3 now 1. If it went to 1, 2, 302, 302, 303, 303. 302, 303, 303, 303, 33, 302, 304, 304, 304, 444, 304, 5, 305, 6, 6 out of 6, 6 out of 6, 7, not a bit of 7, not a 7, not a bit of 8, 308, 309, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 309, 308, 309, 9, 308, Troy 24. It's happening. 290, now 2.5, 290, but you paid 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, now 2.5, 290, but you paid 2.5, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 291, 290, now 1, he bid 1, 1, he bid 1, 1, 1, 285, 286, money 6, 7, 287, 287, 288, 288, 288, 288, 287, 8.8, 288, 287, capital 31. You bet. Good set here. It's happening at 335, 37, 335, money 7, 337, 941, 345, 45, 347, 3479, $9, 51, 53, 53, 55, 355, 57, 59, 361, 363, 365, 365, 365, 7, 367, $9, 369, 71, 371, 3, 373, 333, now 371, Troy 25. Okay, Porter Cattle, Fort Stockton. Okay, boys, I had a 7-way shot and triangle at marking and pre-sponge and pyramid 5 and 7-way. Marked at the ranch, and they have been wormed with Epernex. 315. Okay, Wean cattle, 2 rounds of shots. 315, 317, 315, 317, 317, 19, 21, 23, 5, 327, 329, 31, 31, 33, 35, 35, 37, 9, 339, 41, 341, 343, 343, now 5, 345, 7, 347, 9, 9, 51, 351, 53, 55, 55, 55, 55, 355, 7, 7, not a 7, not a 7, 357, 357, 357, 355, JD. Same cattle, boys. Wean cattle, 2 rounds of shots. $3 now, 2.5. $3 now, 2.5. $3. I'm money, 2.5. It's a bit of $3, 2.5. 5. 305, 37.5. 37.5. 7.5. 10, 10, 10, 10, 12.5, 12.5. 12.5. 15, 15, 17. It's about 17, 17, 19, 3, 19, 21. 321. 3. It's a bit of 3, 3, 3, 323. 323. 323. 321. Simpson, 36. 7.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, money, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 15, 17, 20, 2.5, now 5, now 7.5, 30, bit of 2.5, bit of 5, 37.5, 340, bit of 340, 343, 40, 337.5, JD. It's 7 and 290, now 2.5. 290, but about 2.5. 290, now 2.5. 95, 95, 95, 95, 7.5. $3, but $3, now $3, 2.5, 5, 305, 305. 3, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 310, 12.5, but about 12.5. 310, 311, 311, 311, 311, 310. Simpson, 36. Heifers right off Wayne cattle, 2 rounds of shots. 7.5, $3 now, 2.5. 3. We hold one, Jody. Hold one, everybody. $3 now, 2.5. On the money now, 2.5. 302.5. 302.5. Holding one, everybody. 302.5. $3 one. $3 now, one. Everybody, $1, $1, $1, $1, $1, $1. $3 one. $3 Troy, number 1. Frank, can you read that tag? Ends in a 5. It's $3, 5, 7.5, 305, 7.5, money 7.5, 305, 307.5, 7.5, 10, 310, 12.5, 312.5, 15, 15, 50, 50, 79, 79, 20, 322.5, 5, 325, 7.5, 30, 330, 332.5, 35, 35, 37.5, 40, 340, 2.5, 45, 45, 45, 45, 342.5, H47. 7.5, $3 now, 2.5, $3 now, 2.5, 5, 302.5, 7.5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 15, 17.5, 20, 320, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 30, 2.5, 5, 35, 335, 35, 35, 332.5, H47. What do you got? 2 big ones? 2 big ones. $2.16 now, 5, $2.60 now, 2.5, $2.16 now, 2.5, we'll get them out. There you go. 216 now, 2.5. 216 now, 2.5. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, a bit of 2.5. 216 now, 2.5. 216 now, 2.5. 250 now, 2.5. 250, 2.5. 251, 251, 251, 251, 2, 3, 4, 255, 256, 257, 57, 78, 258, now 60, bit of 2, bit of 2, bit of 2, 2, 2, 2, bit of 2, day, 260, Javier, number 4. 340 now, 2.5, 340 now, 2.5, 7.5, 50, 2.5, but it's 7.5, 360, 2.5, now 5, now 5, 365, 365, 7.5, a bit of 370, 2.5, but a bit of 5, but it was 7.5, 80, but a bit of 380, 2.5, but a bit of 85, but a bit of 7.5, but a bit of 90, but a bit of 390, 2.5, but a 5, 97.5, 97.5, 7.5, $4, 397.5, JD. 7 here, 216, now 5, 260, 2.5, money 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, now 5, 7.5, 80, 280, 2.5, 80, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 280, Nolan 27. McCade cattle, they've been weaned 45 days, 2 rounds of triangle 5 and 8-way, wormed with Dectomex at weaning. Boys been weaned 45 days, 2 rounds of triangle 5 and 7-way. 320, not 2.5, wean cow, 320, not 2.5, 320, not 2.5, 2.5, money, 2.5, 325, 323, 323, 324, 324, 25, 325, 325, 24, now 5, 326, 326, 327, 327, 7, another 7, another 7, another 7, another bit 8, 328, 329, 329, 28, 930, 330, 330, now 1, bit of 1, 1, 2, 332, 32, 33, bit of 3, 4, bit of 4, 34, 335, 5, 6, bit of 36, 36, 37, 38, 338, 339, 39, 9, 9, 9, 338, Simpson, 65. 310, 12, 310, 312, 310, 312, money, 12, 14, 314, 314, 16, 18, 318, 318, 18, 18, 18, 19, 20, 320, 20, 29, 21, 1, 2, 322, 2, 2, 3, 3, 323, 323, 323, 322, Simpson, 37. Same cattle, same story. Weaned 45 days. 2 big ones, 2 big ones, 2 big ones. 330, now 2.5. 330, now 2.5. 330 and 2, money, 2.5. 330, 2.5. 330, now 2.5. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 3, 4, 5, 35, 37.5. 337.5. 337.5. 335, Troy 5. He got 2 big ones. 70, 370, now 5, 370, now 5, money 580, bit 85, 90, 390, now 5, now $4, now 2.5, 5, bit 7, 10, bit 10, $410, 10, bit 7, 10, 12 and a half, 412, 15, 79, 79, 79, 20, 420, 420, 420, 2.5, 5, 425, 425, 25, 25, 25, 27 half, 427 half, 427 half, 427 half, 425, Kelso. 70, 350, now 5, 350, now 5. On the money, 560, 575, 80, 5, 85, 90, 5, $4, now 5, now 10, now 15, 20, 425, 420, now 5, 425, 420, H number 4. 2 blacks, 2 blacks, 2 blacks, 320, now 2.5, 320, now any two, 320, now 2.5, 25, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 30, 330, 330, 2.5, 30, 2.5, 35, 37.5, 337.5, 40, 340, 40, 2.5, 2.5, 45, 45, 44, 45, 345, 340, 2.5, Troy number 6. Sell the solid black going out. 330, 29, 2.5, 322 and a half, 322 and a half, 320 on the money now, 2.5, 325, 25, 27 and a half, 7.5, 30, 332 and a half, 2.5, 2.5, 332 and a half, 330. Troy 5 on the scales. It's 7.5, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, same cattle, 312 and a half, 15, 15, 15, 12 and a half, now 15, 15, 379, 379, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 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 5, 325, 7 and a half, 327 and a half, 30, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, now 5, 35, 37 and a half, 40, 2 and a half, 5, 45, 345, 45, 45, 45, 342 and a half, JD. All right, new deal. Waiting 60 days. They have had a 7-way shot with Somnus. Been wormed with Sidectin. Matthews cattle. Waiting 60 days. Had shots. 7.5, 315, 317, 315, 317. Already 719, 319. Now 20, 320, 320. Now 1. Every 1, 2. Now 3, 324, 23, 4, 4, 5, 26, 326, 326. 6 out of better 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 328, $8, $9, $9, $9, 329, 329, 328. Simpson 65. Every kind, same cattle, weaned 60 days. 290, Sell choice, $3 now, 2.5. $3 now, winner boat, on money, 2.5, 5, 305, 305, 302, 5, 7, 8, 10, 310, 12.5, 15, with a bit of 17.5, 20, with a bit of 2.5, with a bit of 2.5, 2.5, 320, show number 6. 7.5, $3 now, 2.5, $3 money, 2.5, 302.5, 302.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 302.5, 302.5, 302.5, $3 Troy 1.
New deal. Rodney Cruz.
All right, Cruise Cadillac we had last week. They've had a black leg shot in IBR. You like the cattle. Cruise cattle. 7.5, 320, now 2.5, 320, now 2.5. Hold one, Jody. Hold one, everybody. 320, now 2.5. 320 on money, 2.5. 325. 325. 325. 7.5. 326. 25, 6, 7. 327. 328, 328, 328, 9, 329, 329, 30, 30, 31, every one, $1, $1, $2, $2, $3, now, 3, now, 3, 334, 334, 5, 35, 36, 336, 336, 335, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 335, Troy 6. Hold the red. Okay, buy 3 head over there. 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 12.5, 310 on money, 12.5, 310, 11, 12, 312, 312, 13, 314, 14, 14, 14, 15, 316, 17, 18, 18, 19, now 20, 21, 321, 1, 320, Troy 6. $3 now, 2.5. $3 now, money, 2.5. 302.5. 302.5. Now 5. 305. 307.5. 307, 8, 10. 310. 12.5. 12.5. 12.5. 12.5. 15, 15, 15, 16. 316. Number 17. Number 18. Number 318. 317. 18, 18, 18, 18. 318. 317. Troy 24. 290. Now 2.5. 290. Now 2.5. Number 2.5. 290. Bit of my money. 2.5. 290. Now 5. 95. 95. 95. 95. 7.5. 97.5, $3, $3, 2.5, $2.5, $3, 7.5, 7, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, $10, 10, 307.5, Troy number 22, Troy 22. Heifer kind, good ones, 290, now 2.5, 290, but he paid 2.5, 290, now 2.5, 290, 2.5, on the money, now 2.5, 290, 2.5, 95, 95, 95, 295, 95, 97 half, 97 half, $3, $3, $3, $2.5, 302.5, 302.5, 2.25, 55, 305, 307 half, 307 half, 310, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 15, with about 15, 15, 15, 15, 312 and a half, shoat number 6. Shoat 6, Little Sisters. Okay, sell the 3 over there, many more as you want. 320, not 2.5. 320, not 2.5. 2.5, money, 2.5, 7.5, 30, but 2.5, 35, 37.5, 40, but 2.5. 340, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, but 2.5. 340, and that'll be H24. 7.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, money, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 315, 15, 79, 79, 79, 79, 16, 17, 317, 18, 18, 18, 19, 19, 319, 18, 19, 20, 320, 20, 20, 20, 21, 321, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 326, 7, 7, 326, Troy 1, Troy 1. 330, now 2.5, 330 on the money, 2.5, 7.5, 40, 2.5, 42 to 5, 47.5, 347.5, 50, 350, now 50, 350, 350, 350, 350, 347.5, Troy number 3. Here we go, two big ones, two big ones there. Two big ones. 350 now 2.5. 350 on the money. 2.5. But 350 now 2.5. 350 now 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. But 5. But 355. 7.5. 360. 360. 2.5. But 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 360. Troy 3. 7.5. 380 now 2.5. 380 now 2.5. 380 now 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. But 380. But 2.5. We sell to them, Jody. 380 2.5. 2 or more. 80 2.5. Money 2.5. 380 2.5, 2 or more, 5, 85 7.5, 390, 2.5, 395, 397.5, now $4, $4 2.5, 4 2.5, 5, 405, 4 7.5, 7.5, 10, 4 10, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 50, 15, 17.5, 4 17.5, 415, Troy number 21. Al, that was H24, wasn't it? Al, that was H24, wasn't it? D&D 24. D&D 24. I was thinking the same thing. 310 now, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 15, 15, 15, 17, 17, 20, 2.5, 5, 327.5, 327.5, 30, 330, 330, 330, 2.5, 32.5, 5, 35, 35, 335, 7.5, 337.5, 40, 340, 340, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 5, 5, 5, 7.5, 34, 7.5, 53, 50, 2.5, 25, 55, 7.5, 360, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 360, Kelso. 7 in here, $3.50 now 5, 350 now 5, money 5, 360, 60 now 5, 370, 75, 80, 380, 80, 75, 80, 85, 385, 85, 2.5, 380, 5, 85, 85, 85, 385, 387.5, 387.5, 385, that'll be Troy 25, Troy 25, 390 now 5, 390 on the money now 5, now $4, $5, 405, 10, 410, 15, 15, 20, 5, 30, 435, 40, 45, 445, 54, 54, 54, 55, 455, 455, 455, 450, and that'll be H number 4. H4. It's happening. $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 2.5, 302 2.5 over there. 302.5. 302.5. 302. 302.5. Okay, you're buying 3 little ones. 280, 2.5. Money 2.5. 280, 2.5. 5, 85, 87.5. 287.5. 287.5. 287.5. 287.5. 287.5. 87.5. 285. Capital number 9. Cap 94. 4 hit. It's happening. 280 now 2.5. 280 on the money now 2.5. 5. 85, 85, 87, 90, 290, 290, 295, 95, 95, 97, 97, 97, $3. $3 now 2.5. 5. 302.5. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 302.5. 302.5. $3. Troy 1. Okay, they have been weaned 7 weeks and have been vaccinated Covaxin. 8. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. $3, 10, 15, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20, 2.5, 325, 25, 27.5, 327.5, 30, 330, 330, 330, 330, 330, 330, 327.5. Troy number 5. 7 here, $3 now. 2.5, $3 now 2.5, $3 now 2.5, money 2.5, 5, 305, 378, 378, 10, 310, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 312.5. Simpsons 36, just 6, Simpson 6. Tail, two big ones, 290, now 2.5, 290 on money, 2.5, 290, 2.5, now 2.5, 295, 95, 95, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, $3, $3, $3, $3, $2.5, 5, 305, 305, 305, 7.5, 7.5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 15, 15, 79, 20, 20, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 320, and that'll be D&D 24. $4 now 5, $4 now 5, $4 now, mighty 5, 10, 10, 10, 15, 4, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, 5, 50, 55, 460, 5, 70, 5, 80, 5, 490, 90, 490, 490, 490, 485, H28, H28. Waiting to vaccinated. $17.50 now 5. 250 on the money now 5. 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 280, 280, 280, 280, 280, 280, 275, lady 95. Okay, weaned 6 months. It's having a hand. What do you got? Two big ones, 220, now 530. 230, 225, now 30, now 30, but 225, $30, 30. 230, now 5, now 40, but 5, but 245, 55, 65, but 275. 85, but 285, 95, now $3, 5, 10, 15, but 15, 25, 35, but 40, but 5, but 50, 355, 60, but 5, 70, but 375, 80, but 80, 85, 90, 95, $4, 5, but $5, 5, $4, 5, $4. Russell number 3, Russell 3. $3 now 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 50, 60, 5, 375, 80, 385, 90, 9, 5, $4, 5, 10, $10, 15, 20, 420, now 420, 420, 420, 415, Russell 3, Russell 3. 7.5 to 40 now 5, 240 now 5, 250 with a bit of 5, 60 with a 5, but 75, but 80 with a bit of 5, but 290 with a bit of 5, 95, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95, 290, lady number 93, lady 93.
Gene Johns from Mary Neal.
All right, they've had a black leg shot, triangle 5. 290, now 2.5, 290, now 2.5, 290, on money, 2.5, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, 2.5, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 290, capital number 31. Black leg and triangle 5, sell the big one. Big one there, 260, now 2.5. 260 on the 5 set. Big one, 7.5, 70, now 5, now 80, now 2.5, 87, 90, 290, 2.5, 95, 97.5, 297.5, 97.5, 7.5, 7.5, 295, capital 94. The black bowler here, 320, now 2.5, 320 on my 257, 30 with a 2.5, 5, 35, 37.5, 40, 340, 2.5, now 5 with a bit of a 45, 7.5, 350 with a bit of 50, 50, 2.5, with a bit of 50, 2.5, 350, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 350, Troy, 3. Every kind, 280, now 2.5, 280 on money, 2.5, but 280, now 2.5, 5, 85, 7.5, 90, 290, 2.5, now 5, 95, 95, 7.5, 7.5, 290, 7.5, 290, 7.5, 7.5, 295, Troy, 26. Black leg, triangle 5, different family member. $315, $17, $315, $17, $315, $317, $3 money, $17, $15, $17, I got the money now, $17, $315, $37, $19, $319, $21, $35, $327, $79, $9, $9, $31, $333, $333, $333, $31, now 3, now 3, now 3, $331, capital number 35, 34, 305, 307, 305, 307, 305, 307, 305, 307, 305, 307, 7 on a bit of money, seeing 7, 305, 307, 307, 9, 309, 11, 311, 311, 311, 13, 13, 13, 15, 315, 315, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 317, 317, 315, capital 90. All right, I have Provac 4 and Triangle 9 and Pyramid 5. $3.10, $12.5, $3.10, $12.5, $3.10, $12.5, money $12.5, $15, $15, $17.5, $20, but $2.5, but $5, but $7.5, $30, but $32.5, $35, $37.5, $40, but $2.5, but $5, but $7.5, $52.5, but $5, but $5, $7.5, $3.60, but $2.5, but $5, but $7.5, $70, but $2.5, but $5, but $8, but $80, $2.5, $3.82.5, $82.5, $82.5, $82.5, $3.80 JD, $7.5, $3.15, now $5, $3.15 money, $5, but $3.55, $60, but $5, but $70, but $5, but $80, but $5, $3.90, now $5, now $4, now $5, $4, $5.10, $4.10, $15, $20, but $5, but $30, but $5, but $40, $5, $4.40, $5.50, $4.55, $55, $55, $55, $60, but $4.65, but $5, $4.60 H number 38. Three little ones, $3.80, now $5, now $90, now $5, and $95, $4, $4, $4, $4, $5, but $10, $15, but $20, but $5, but $4.30, but $5, $4.40, now $5, and $50, but $50, now $5, $55, $55, $60, $4.65, $70, but $5, but $80, but $5, but $90, but $5, $5, $5, but $5.05, $5.05, $5.05, $5 H number 4, H4. Over there, $3.50, now $5, $3.50, now $5. On the money, now $5, but $3.60, but $5, but $70, but $5, but $80, but $5, but $85, $90, $5, but $4.05, but $10, but $15, $20, but $4.20, $4.20, $4.20, $4.15 JD. $7 $4 now $5, $4 on money 5, 10, and 10, 15, 20, bit of 5, bit of 30, bit of 5, bit of 40, 445, 50, 55, 55, 65, 475, 80, bit of 5, bit of 90, bit of 5, bit of $5, 5, 505, 505, 505, $5 Troy 2. Bowen had an 8-way shot in triangle 5. Two more. $3.20, now 2.5, $3.20 on the money, 2.5, 25, 25, 25, 25, 7.5, 30, 3.30, now 1, 1, 2, 32, 3, 3, 4, 3.35, 35, 6, 7, 37, 38, 3.38, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 44, 7, 346, Troy 5. 7 had 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 290, 2.5, 290 now 2.5, 290, 2.5 money, 2.5, 290, 290, capital number 31. Two or more. 310, 12.5, 310, money 12.5, 15, 79, 17.5, 20. 320, 2.5, 5, and 27.5, 30, 2.5, and 5, and 7.5, and 3, 37.5, 40, and 340, 2.5, and 40, 2.5, 340, 2.5, 340, D&D 24. D&D 24, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, money 5, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95, 290, capital number 394. Got a bull, 7 here, 360, now 5, 365, 75, 85, 95, and a better $4.05, and a 10, 14, 15, 25, and a better 425, 35, 435, 35, 35, 40, but a better 440, now 5, 445, 440, H number 4, H4. Two big ones. You're buying two big ones. 280 now 2.5. 280 2.5. 280 now 2.5. 280 2.5. 280. Bit of two money. 2.5. 280 2.5. 280 2.5. 585 85 85 285. 87 half 90. But 290 90 90 90 290 290 capital 31. Cap 31. Two or more. $3 now 2.5, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 305, 305, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 302 and a half, Troy, 45. How you want to do? go 2.5 on it. Okay, two black steers. 320, now 2.5. 320 on money to 5. 7.5. 320. 7.5, 10, 12.5, 312.5, 15, 315, 315, 79, but another 20, but another 2.9, but another 2.5, but another 25, 27.5, 330, but another 32.9, but another 35, but another 5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 40, 340, 40, 40, 2.5, but another 2.9, 2.9, 2.9, 2.9, but 2.5, 340, Troy 5, Charlotte, $3.20, now 2.5, 320 on the money, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 30, but another 2.9, but another 5, but another 7.5, but another 40, but 2.5, 45, 345, 347.5, 4.7, 7.8, 7.8, 345, Troy number 3.
Raleigh Waldrop. Win 30 days and had an 8-way.
Okay, weaned 30 days and had an 8-way shot. Sell two steers, 280, now 2.5, 280, 2.5, 280, two steers, money, 2.5, 280, 2.5, 285, 87.5, 290, 90, 2.5, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, better 290, 2.5, 290, better 2.5, 290, Nolan 27. Sell red heifer, 290, now 5, 290 on money, now 5, 295, 95, 95, 95, but 290, but 5, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95, 290, Troy, number 1. Two more. 340, now 5. 340, now 5. On 2 of them. 340, now 5. 340, now 5. 340, now 5. On 2. 550. 350, now 5. 355, 360, 65, 65, 5, 360, Troy, number 4. That's solid. Okay, Troy, 45. Okay, so solid black, 310, 12.5. 12.5, 310, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12 money, 12.5, 310, 12.5, 15, 79, 20, 330, 30, 30, 325, 30, 30, 30, 330, 325, JD. Two big ones, 7.5, 350, now 5. Two big ones, 350, now 5. Money, 5, 355, 60, now 5, now 70, now 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, $4, now 5, $4, 5, $4, Troy, number 4. 7.5, 440, now 5, 440, now 5, 440, now 5, 50, 455, 460, now 5, 75, 80, 485, 45, 85, 85, 90, 490, 490, 490, 490, 490, 485, Wilfred Wildy. Okay, sell the cow. Sell the cow, 120, now 2.5, 120, now 2.5, 122, 5, 25, 25, 5, sell the cow, 7.5, 130, 132 and a half, 135, 137 and a half, 140, 142 and a half, 145, 145, 7 and a half, 147 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 51, 51, 52 and a half, 2 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 and a half, 150, and that'll be Troy 15, Troy 15. Seller here, 7.5, a little heifer, 370, now 5. 370, now money, now 5, 80, 5, 85, 90, 5, $4, 5, $4, 510, 410, 15, 15, 20, 5, 425, 420, H number 20, 27, H 27.
Wormed with Dectomax, that's all.
Okay, wormed with Dectomax. Sell 3 of them. 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, On the money, 12 and a half, 15, 315, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, but 25, 25, 7 and a half, 320, 7 and a half, 30, but 2 and a half, but 32 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2, 5, 5, 5, 35, 335, 332 and a half, Simpson 36. 7 or 280, now 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 282, 5, 85, 285, 285, 285, 282 and a half, 5, 285, 85, 85, 85, 282 and a half, lady 95. Same thing? Okay, hold one. You're buying 3 head. 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. And we have one more, Jordan. Hold the horn. 310, 12 and a half. On the money, 12 and a half. You're buying 2 head over there, 12 and a half, 15, 315, 317, 317, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, about 5, 25, 27 and a half, 327 and a half, 327 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 325, Troy. Numbers show your weight on them. They go to Troy. 7 or 290, now 2 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, but about 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half. 290, 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, money, 2 and a half, 5, 85, 285, 285, 285, 85, 85, 85, 85, 280, 2 and a half, lady number 95, lady 95. Weigh the cow, weigh the cow. Weigh the cow, 155, 156, 155, 156, on the money, $6. 156, 7, 157, 58, 158, 59, 159, 160, 1, 2, 2, 3, 62, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, second, 7, 8, $9, 70, 170, show number 8. Showed 8, 7 or 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, on the money, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12, 15, 15, 15, 17, 22 and a half, 325, 7 and a half, 30, 2 and a half, 5, 35, 332 and a half, D&D 24. 7 or 290, now 2 and a half, 290, but about 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290, but money, 2 and a half, 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, 97 and a half, $3, but $3, 2 and a half, but 302 and a half, 302 and a half, 302 and a half, 302 and a half, $3, Capital 94. It's having a 270, now 2 and a half, 270, 25, 75, 7 and a half, 80, 2 and a half, 85, 87 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 90, 2 and a half, 5, 95, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95, 292 and a half, Nolan 27. Oh, there, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, but it's 2 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, on my 25, 85, 87 and a half, and a 90, but 290, 290, 287 and a half, lady number 95, $2, 60, now 2 and a half, 5, 2 and a half, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7 and a half, 70, 270, 270, 270, 270, 270, 267 and a half, Nolan 76, Nolan 76. Said Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, $2.50, now 2 and a half. On money, 2 and a half, 5, 55, 7, 8, 60, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 70, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 80, 280, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 280, Nolan 27. Charlotte, $2.30, now 2 and a half, 230, 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 but 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. Okay, bid price, $2, now 5. $2, now 5. On the money, now 5. $2, 2 and a half, 202 and a half, 202 and a half, 202 and a half, 202 and a half, $2, Troy. Marty number 45. Bid price. Okay, so one big one, 7.5, 290, now 2.5, big one, 290, 2.5. 290, now 290, 290, on money, 290, 290, 290, 290, bit, 290, 2.5, 290, capital number 31. 7 here, $3.30, now 5. 330 on the money, now 2.5, 330, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 5, 35, 35, 7.5, 40, 340, 2.5, 429, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 7.5, 350, 350, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 55, 5, 7.5, 360, 2.5, 25, 7.5, 360, 7.5, 365, Troy, number 5.
I've got it here.
285, $87, 285, 287, 285, 287, 87, 285, money 7, 87, 9, 289, 289, 91, 291, 93, 93, 93, 95, 95, 97, 99, now 301, 303, 305, 305, 555, 305, 305, 305, 305, 303, capital 31. Seven here, 360, now 5. 360 on money, now 5. 570. 37, there's steers, 375, 80, 75, 85, 90, 95, 95, $4, $5. 405, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 7, 8, 10, 4 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 79, 420, 20, 420, 420, 417 and a half, Troy, 25. African. 7 380 now 5. 380 now 5 at 380 now 5. 380 on the money now 5 at 85 90 5 95 95 $4 5. 405 10 10 15 20 5 425 425 420 H number 37. African, minute happening, 290, now 2.5. 290 on money, 2.5 at 290, now 2.5 at 290, at 25. 95, 97 half, 297 half, 297 half, $3, $3, 2.5, 302 and a half, 305, 5, 5, 7 half, 3, 7, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 15, 17, 17, 19, 319, 21, 321, 321, 319, Troy 1. Sell the black molly face heifer. 7.5, $3, now 2.5. 302 and a half, money 2.5. $3, now 2.5. 5, 305, 305, 2.5, now 5. 7.5, 7, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 15, 17, 19, 20, 320, 2.5, 5, 25, 7.5, 30, 2.5, 5, 35, 35, 332 and a half, D&D 24. Bull, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, 330 on the money, now 5, 335, 40, 55, 50, 55, 360, 5, 365, 65, 360, Troy, number 4. 7, 290, now 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, $3, $3, 2.5, 302 and a half, 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 301, 301, 301, $3, Troy, 26, 26, Troy, 26. Okay, Wonderboat, $2.30, now 2.5, 230, now 2.5, 230, now 2.5, 230, now 2.5, 230 on money, 2.5, 230, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 35, 37, 237, 237, 237, 240, 240, now 2.5, 14, 2.5, 2.5, 45, 45, 7, 247, 50, 250, 250, 250, 250, 247, show number 8. 7 here, $2, now 2.5, $2 money, 2.5, 202 and a 5, 205, 7, 8, 10, 12 and a half, 212 and a half, 15, 15, 17, now 20, 220, 2 and a half, now 5 and a 25, 7 and a half, 227 and a half, 30, 50, 30, 30, 30, 227 and a half, shoat number 19, shoat 19. It's happening 290, now 2 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, money 2 and a half, 5, 95, 97 and a half, $3, $3, $3, 2 and a half, 302 and a half, 302 and a half, 305, 305, 7 and a half, 307 and a half, 307 and a half, 307 and a half, 307 and a half, 305, Troy 22. Okay, Denise cattle from Vancourt. There's a load of them, all steers. 26 head in the first deal. Chico Denise cattle. $26 head in this first deal.
I'm wondering if 24 supposed to 26, 26.
315, 317, 315, now $17, 315, all money 17, 19, 319, 19, 19, 19, 21, 321, 323, 323, 4, 23, now 4, now 4, now 5, 325, 24, now 5, now 6, now 6, 326, 327, 7, another bit of 7, another 7, another 7, another 8, 328, 328, 9, 329, $28, 9, 9, 9, 9, 30, 330, 330, 30, 1, another 1, another 1, another 1, another 1, another 1, $2, $2, $3, $3, 334, 34, 35, 34, now 5, 335, 36, 336, $6, second, 6, 336, 335, Troy 6.
Is there 26?
26 head of them. Okay, 17 head. Okay, you're buying 17 head, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310 money, 12 and a half, 15, 17 and a half, 317 and a half, 320, 321, every one, 2, 322, 3, 33, 3, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 5, 325, $6, 7, 327, 326, 7, 7, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, 326, 327, 327, 327, 327, 326, Troy 22. All right, 17 more of them. 345, 47 half, 345, 47 half, 345, 47 half, 345, now 7 half, 345, 47 half, money 7 half, 347 half, 50, 350, 350, 350, 50, now 50, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 350, 2 and a half, 52 and a half, 55, 355, 355, 55, 5, 5, 5, 5, at it, 3, 4, 354, 5, 355, 355, $6, $7, but at 357, 357, 57, 58, 58, 59, 359, 360, 360, 359, 360, 360, 360, 359, Troy 5. $365, 7 and a half. $365, now 7 and a half. Money 7 and a half, 7 and a half. $367 and a half. $365, now 7 and a half. $367 and a half. Money's down, 7 and a half. $367 and a half. $365, 7 and a half, 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 7 and a half. $365, Troy 25. It's 7.5, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, 40, 55, 50, 55, 65, 375, 75, 80, 385, 85, 380, now 5, 380, now 5, 90, 95, 95, $4, $4, 4, 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 4, 15, 410, H number 38. Okay, sell the little bull calf with the tag. $3.40, now 5, 340, 550, 355, 360, now 5, 75, 80, 55, 85, 95, 95, $4, now 5, 405, 405, 405, 405, 10, 410, 10, 10, 10, 10, $10, 10, 405, Troy 3, Troy 4, Troy 4. Two bulls, sell two bulls, two bulls. 290, now 2.5. 290, now 2.5. 290, 2.5, 2.5. Money, or you can take them all. 290, now 2.5. Money's down 2.5. You're buying two bulls, you can take them all. 290, 2.5. 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290. 290, Troy, number 45 on the scales. This one here goes to Troy 6. 45 on the scales, Troy 6 on the single.
That's the last three.
7 $2.70, now 2.5. 270 on the money, 5, 7.5, 82 and a half, 5, 85, 7.5, 90, 292 and a half, 295, 97 and 97 and 7.5, 297 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 7.5, 307 and 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 307 and a half, Nolan 95, Nolan 95. Okay, little one, left hind foot. 220, now 5. On the money, 5, 35, 45, 55, 65, 70, 275, 80, 285, 290, now 5, now $3, 5, 305, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, $10, $10, $10, 10, 15, 315, 20, 55, 30, 335, 40, 45, 350, 55, 60, 55, 70, 55, 80, 380, 380, 375, lady 94. Old deal, goes with him. 120, now 5. 125, 30, now 5, now 40, now 5, 150, 150, 155, 155, 160, 160, 160, 155. Javier, 4. It's happening at 380 and a 5, 380 and a 5, money 5, 390, but a 5, but a bit of $4, but a 5, but a bit of 10, but a bit of 15, but a bit of 20, 420, now 5, now 30, but a bit of 5, but a bit of 40, but a bit of 5, 450, but a 5, but a bit of 60, but a bit of 460, 455, H3, H3. Two more, pick T like 310, 15, 310, 15, 310, $15, $15, but a 10, 15, 310, 315, 310, on the money, $15, 310, 15, 20, 320, but a bit of 25, but a 325, 325, 30, but a 5, but a bit of 35, but a 35, 30, 40, 340, now 5, but a bit of 50, but a 50, 55, 55, 55, but a 5, 350, JD, 350, JD. 270, now 5. 270, now 5 on the bull. 275, 270, now 5. 275, 270, now 5. 270, now 5. Money 5. 275, 80. 280, 280, 275, Brian Hoffman. Two more. $3 now 5. $3 now 5, money 5. $3. Pick T like 305, 10, 310, 15, 15, 20, now 5, 30, 55, 40, 45, 345, 45, 45, 340, H number 47. You want to, okay, H47 over there, H37 here. Yeah, H37. 340. Every kind, 316, now 5. 316, now 5. 5, 70, 55, 80, 385. 85, 90, 90. 395, 95, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 405, 405, $4, Wilford Willie. Tell the big one, 250 now 5, 250 now 5, money 5, 255 60 now 5, 70, 55, 275, 270 now 5, now 5, 270 D&D 89. Up to 70, 320 now 5, 320 now 5, 320 on money now 5, 30, 55, 40, 55, 50, 350, 350, 350, 350, 345, H number 47. It's 7.5, 310, and 12.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 312.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 312.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 312.5, 310, 312.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 310, money 12.5, 310, 12.5, 15, 315, 315. 315, 79, 20, 320, 320, 320, 20, 20, 20, 317 and a half, Letty. Show your weight on them, they go to Letty. 70, 280, now 2.5, 280, now 2.5, 82 and a half, 280, 2 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 and a half, 82 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half. $280, now 2 and a half, 281, 270, now 1, 271, 270, now 1, able to 1, another 1, another 1, 271, right here, both of them, 271, 271, 270, now 1, on money 1, able to 1, another 1, another 1, another 1, 270, show 77. All right, here we go. Here we go, 7 and $3.50 now 5, 3.50 now 5, money 5, 3.50 now 5, 3.55, 3.55, 55, 5, 60, 3.65, 70, 55, 80, 55, 3.85, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 3.85, H40. Two head. Up at a 7 and 260 now 2 and a half. On money 5, 7 and 72 and a half, 5, but a 7 and 80, but a 2 and a half, 825, 85, 85, 85, 85, 282 and a half, Nolan 27. Two blues, 260 now 2 and a half. On money now 5, now 7 and 72 and a half, 5, but a 7 and a half, 80, but a 280, 2 and a half, 82 and a half, 82 and a half, 280, Nolan 76. 7 here, 250 now 2 and a half, 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 250 now 2 and a half. Okay, watch how he travels. $170 now 5. Bid price $170 now 5. $175 bid price. $150 now 5. Money 560. $165. $165. $165. 570. $175. $175. 80. 80. 180. 180. 180. 180. 180. $175 Tom 3. Bid price on it. 270 now 2 and a half, 270 now 2 and a half, money 2 and a half, 270 2 and a half, 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 270 Nolan 27, $72.70 now 2 and a half, 270 now 2 and a half, 270 2 and a half, 2 and a half, money 2 and a half, $270 2 and a half, 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 270 capital 31. Here comes 250 now 5. 215 now 5. 250 now 2.5. 250 2.5. Money 5. 255, 55, 7.5, 260, 2.5, 2.5, 25, 25, 7.5, 270, 70, 70, 70, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 5, 75, 75, 75, 270, 2.5, H47. Over there, one head. $7.5, $3 now 5. 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 $3. 2.5. $3 now 2.5. 302.5. 302.5. 302.5. Money 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. $3 capital 34. 7.8, 290, now 2.5, 290, now 2.5. On money, 2.5. 290, 2.5, 290, now 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 290, capital 31. Tell the big one with the tag. 280, now 2.5, big one with the tag. 280, 2.5, 85, 87.5, 290, now 2.5, now 5, 97.5, 297.5, 7.5, 7.5, 297.5, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, $3, shoat 6. 7.5, 330, now 5, 330, now money 5, 35, 335, 35, 40, 5, 45, 45, 45, 45, 345, 340, Troy 3. 7 here, 340, now 5, 340 on the money, now 5, 345, 50, 350, now 5, now 60, 5, 365, 5, 360, Troy, number 3. 280, now 2.5, 280, now 2.5, 2.5, 280 on the money, now 2.5, 280, 25, 85, 85, 285, 285, 285, 285, 7.5, 287, 7.5, 7.5, 285, Lady 95. Here comes $7 16 now 5, 260 now 5, 260 on 95, 70, 5, 80, 280, 80, 280, 280, 275, show 77. Okay, big one. Maybe cocks his head a little bit. Leg him over. 350, now 5. By the head, 350, now 75. By the head. On the money, 75, $400, 4 quarter, half. 475, now $500, $500, 500, 500, now 500 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter. By the head. 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter, 500. By the head, Tom 3. Oh, deal. By the head, $100, now 25, 50, 75, 200, 200, 200, 200 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 200 and a quarter, 225, 225, 225, $200 a head, Pam. Okay, boys, been weaned 45 days and had a 7-way shot. Okay, holding 2 head, they've been weaned 45 days, had a 7-way shot. Sell the big one over there, 310, 15. $310, 15. 15, wean cattle, 310, 315. 310, 3 on the money, 15. 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 315, 315, 315. 310, H number D&D 24, D&D 24. Sell the little heifer. 360 now 5. On the money now 5. 365, 70, 75, 80, 90, 5. $4, $4, $4, 5, 405, 10, 410, 15, 20, 24, 20 now 5. 425, 25, 25, 25, 420. Russell 3. You're buying 4 head, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, money 540, 345, 50, 5, 60, 360, 355, 365, 360, Troy 3. 7 here, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, money 5, $3 now 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, now 5, 30, 5, 40, 5, 45, 53, 50, 55, 355, 65, 65, 70, 370, 70, 365, Russell 3. Every kind, 7 and $3 now 5. On the money now 5. $3 now 5. 5, 5, 5, $3, 5, 10. 3, 10, 10, 10, 10, $10, 10, 15, 15, 3, 15, 20, now 5, 30, 330, 330, 330. 325, D&D 24. 7 here, 290, now 2.5, 290, 80, 2.5, 280, 2.5, 280, 295, 85, 285, 282.5, 5, 5, 5, 7.5, 287.5, 287.5, 287.5, 87.5, 87.5, 285. That'll be Troy 26, Troy 26. Same cattle, wean, 45 days, lighting good, 380 and a 5. 380 and a 5, money, 590, bit of 5, bit of $4, bit of 5, bit of 10, 410, 15, 15, 20, bit of 420, 415, now 20, now 20, now 20, 420, 415, Wilford Wildy. Two more. $3, 20, now 5. 320 on the money, now 530. 330, now 5, now 40, now 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, 45. 340, Troy, 3. Seven here. 320, now 5 on the boy. 320 on the money, now 5. 325, 320, now 530. 330, now 5. 40, 55, 50, 353, 53, 53, 50. 345, Simpson, 5. 35. Two big ones, 7 here, 315, 79, 315, 379, 20, 320, 79, 20, 22 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 320, 2 and a half, 325, 7 and a half, 327 and a half, 30, 330, 30, 327 and a half, Troy 6. $340, now 5. 340 on money, 550. 350, now 5. 360, 65. 365, 70. 375, 80, 85. 85, 90, 390. 385, Troy 25. The steers there, 7 and a half, 360, now 5, 365, 75, 80, 5, 90, 4, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 440, 5, 50, 5, 55, 55, 55, 450, Troy 2, 430, now 5, 430, now 5, 430, now 5, 430 on the money, now 5, 440, now 40, now 445, 450, now 5, 455, 455, 60, 5, 465, 460, H number 28, H 28. It's half and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 3, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, bit of 310, 12 and a half, 310, $12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, bit of $3 now, 2 and a half, $3 now, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, bit of $3, 2 and a half. $3, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 280 now, 2 and a half, on the money, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 280, Tom 3. 7 here, 140, now 5, 140, now 5, 150, 50, 50, 155, 160, 160, 5, 70, 170, 175, 80, 5, 90, 195, 195, $2, $5, $2, 10, but 210, 205, Tom 3. All right, Hope cattle. Boys, I've had 2, been wormed with Sidectin, had Triangle 10, had Covexin 8, and been wormed with Dectomax. There's 29 steers and 7 heifers. Okay, over there, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, money, 12 and a half, 15, 17, 20, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 3, 30, 2 and a half, 3, 30, 2 and a half, 35, 35, 37 and a half, 7 and a half, 40, 40, 2 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 3, 47 and a half, 3, 47 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 345, Troy 3, 3. 7 315, 317, 317, money 17, 17, 20, 3, 20, 20, 27, 20, 320, 320, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, 25, 27, 5, 7 and a half, 327, 30, 330, 2 and a half, 35, 35, 35, 335, 335, 35, 35, 35, 35, 330, 2 and a half, that'll be D&D 24, D&D 24. 7 half, 3, 5, 3, 7, 305, 7, another 7. On the money now, 7, 305, 307, 7, another 7, 9, 309, 11, 13, 13, 313, 15, 17, 317, 19, 319, 17, 19, 317, Troy 1. Hope. Hope cattle, they are plenty good right there. How many out of $3.25? No, 7 and a half. 325, 7 and a half. Money 7 and a half. 325, 7 and a half. 330, 2 and a half. 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. 535, 335, 37 and a half. 337 and a half. 40, 340, 2 and a half. 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. 5. 345, 45, 7 and a half. 347 and a half. 347 and a half. 7 and a half. 53, 53, 52 and a half. 52 and a half. 52 and a half. 1, 2. 351, 2, 3. 353, 353. 4, 54. Now 4, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 6, 357, 7, another 7, another 7, another 8, 358, 9, 359, 359, 60, 360, 360, 361, 1, 2, 362, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 361, Troy 5. Four big ones, sell 4 big ones. 360 now 5. 360 now 5. 360 on the money now 5. 365. 365. 70. 70. 70. 75. 75. 80. 80. 380. 380. 380. 80. 77 and a half. 80. 380. 80. 80. 380. 380. 380. 380. 377 and a half. Troy 5. Good one, sir. It's 7 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 312 and a half. Charlet steers money, 12 and a half, 15, 315, 15, but about 17 and a half, 317 and a half, 317 and a half, 20, 320, 320. Now 1, 321, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 323, 4, 324, now 5, 325, 6, 326, out of 6, out of 6, 325, 6, 326, 325, Troy. Show your weight. They go to Troy. 320, now 2.5. 320 on the money, 2.5, now 5. 325, 5, 7 half, 30, 30, 330, 2.5, 30, 2.5, 30, 2.5. 330, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 330, Simpson, 6. Sell 3 big ones. 330 now 370 now 5, 370 now 5, 370 now 5, money 5, 370, 2.5, 5, 375, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 8, 380, 80, 80, 2.5, 385, 85, 85, 85, 85, 387, 87.5, 387, 387, 385, Troy 25. $4 now 5, $4 now 5, $4 money 5 at a 10, 10, 15, 20, 5, 425, 30 now 5, 40, 5, 450, 5, 60, 5, 70, 475, 475, 75, 75, 470 H4. Syllable 270 now 2.5, 270 now money 2.5, 270 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 270 2.5, 270 Nolan 27. It's $7.40 now 2.5, 5, 7.5, 50, 2.5, 55, 57.5, 260, 2.5, now 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, now 5, no 7.5, 280, 280, 2.5, 285, 285, 285, 285, 285, 280, 2.5, Nolan 29. Weigh the cow, 130, now 1. 130, he bid $1.1. Hit 30, on the money, now 1. 31, 31, he bid $1.1. He bid $1.1, 2, 3, 4, 34, 35, 35, 135, 134. Marty, number 25. 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5. Had around a shot, 310, 12.5. Money, 12.5, 15, 15, 17, 20. 322.5, 325, but a 7.5, but a 30, but a 32.5, 335, 35, 37.5, 337.5, 335, Simpson 6. Weigh the cow. Weigh the cow, 144.95, 144.95, 144.95, 6, 7, 47, 47, 40 guys, 49.9, 150, 151, a bit of 1, 2, a bit of 3, a bit of 3, 4, a bit of 4, 5, 56, a bit of 7, $8, $8, 9, 59, 9, 9, 9, 158, Lone Star. It's $7.5, $3 now 2.5, $3 on the money now 2.5, 302.5, 5, 305, 357.5, 7, 8, 10, 12.5, 15, 79, 20, 2.5, 22.5, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 320, H47. Syllables, 79, 190 now 1, 190 now 1, money 1, 2, 3, 82, 3, 4, 84, 85, 85, 85, $85, $86, 86, 7, 87, 88, 88, 88, 89, 89, 89, 188, Lone Star 1. 7.5, 192, 3, 192, 93, money 3, 193, 192, now 3, now 4, 194, 95, 95, 196, 197, 197, 97, 8, 98, 99, 99, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, 199, Lone Star 1. 7.5, 140 now 1, 140 he bid $1.1, 141, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45, 44, 5, 6, 47, 47, 47, 8, 9, 49, 51, 2, 152, 151 now 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 151, show number 13.
A pair of Cody Wacy. Cody.
Looky there, she is shortbread. One that weigh the cow, 185, 87, 9. 189, 91, 93, 95, 97, 99, 201, 203, 205, 207, 9, 11, 213, 15, 17, about 19, 21, 3, but 225, 7, 229, 31, 3, but 5, but 237, but 7, 235, 37, 7, another 7, another 7, another 7, 235, show 13, 7, 3, $10, 12 and a half, 3, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 17, 9, 20, 2 and a half, 3, 22, 5, 5, 5, 7 and a half, 30, but 2 and a half, but 5, but 37 and a half, but 3, 37 and a half, 3, 37 and a half, 335, capital 21. Weigh the cow, 145, $46. 145, money 6, 47, 48, 49, 148, 9, 148, $9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 148, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, 148, Lone Star. African, 380, now 5, 380, now 5, 90, 85, 90, 5, 4, out of 5, 10, 15, 20, 420, 415, now 20, 5, 425, 30, 430, 30, 430, 430, 425, Javier, 5. It's happening $4.95, $4.95, $4.95, money 5, $4.95, $4.5, 10, 10, 10, 15, 20, 425, 420, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, 420 H number 4. Big one, number 7 here, 330, now 5. Big one, 330, now 5. 330, now 5. 35, 330, now 5. 40, 45, and 45, 45, 50, 55, 355, 355, 350, Kelso. 7 here, 390, now 5. 390, now 5, $4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 435, 435, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 430, Javier, 5. She is light bread. 1,500 by the head, now half, 1,500 and a half, 1,500 and a half, light bread cow, 1,500 and a half, 1,500, now half, on the money, now half, 1,500 and a half, 15 half, 15 half, 15 half, 15 half, $15 fried, number 10, fried 10, 1,500 fried 10. Okay, weigh the cows, 133.34. 133 now 4, 133 now 4, now 4, now 4. Weigh the cows, money 4, 33.34. 134, 94, 94, got 5, 35, 34, now 5, 6, 137, 138, 138, 38, 137, Lone Star. Said little boy, 450 now 5, 450 now 5, 450 now 5, 450 now 5, 450 on the money now 5, and then 455, 55, 55, 55, 60, 465, and then 70, 5, and then 475, 470 H 28. Well, 370 now 5, money 5, 370 now 5, 375, 370 now 5, 370 Troy 21. Okay, numbers are on the tail. Disregard your mark across the. Okay, they're 4, 5, and 6 months bred. Okay, sell one cow. 140, where to? 145, 46, $7, 48, now 9, now 50, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 58, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 71, 3, 73, 173, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 171, show number 18. Shorts and brokes. 180 now 2. 180 now 2. 180 now 2. 180 bitty bit 2. Wait, need 180 now 2. 180 money 2. 180 dollar 2. 2 but a D4. 1846. 88. 190 now 2. 9246. 198 now $2. Now 2. 202. 204, 204, 204, 246, 26, 28, 28, 28, 210, 10, 10, 12, 212, 214, 216, 216, 216, 216, 216, 216, 18, 218, 218, 18, 20, 220, 224, 226, 226, 226, 26, 8, 228, 228, 228, 228, 228, 228, 230, 230, 230, 230, 228, not a beige. Sam. Okay, you do not get the big fleshy cow. 170 now 2. 172 $4. 72 4. 72 46. 78 80 but a 2 but a 4 but 82 4. 184 82 4. 84 184 6. 86 88 90. 190 90 192 4. 194 94 96 96 96 96 96 96 196 194. Show number 18. $116 now. Put him on. Show 118 on the scales. $116 now too. Got a 6 on her. $162 day. $162 day. 4, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 162 4, 4, 4, 4, 162. Show number 13. 135, 37 hand. 137 half 40, 140, 140, now 2.5, now 5, now 7.5, 150, 152 and a half. 152 and a half, 152 and a 5, 155, 7.5, 157 and a half, 7 and a half, 157 and a half, 157 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 60, 62 and a half, 162 and a half, 2 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 and a half, 2, 5, 165, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 162 and a half, Sam. Short, solid, light bread, 110, 12, 110, 12, 110, on money, now 12, 112, 14, 16, 18, 20, $2, $4, $126, $8, 30, now 2, now 4, 32, 4, 6, 8, $38, $8, 38, $8, 40, 140, 140, 140, 40, $40, 40, 138, Russell 6, short, solid, 5 months bread. 170 now 2.5. Warrior to you. 175, 7.5, 80, 180, 80, 80, 2.5, 85, 7.5, 87.5, 187.5, 85, 7.5, 85, 7.5, 7.5, 185. Show number 18. Light bread. Young cow, 210, 12.5. Warrior, 210, 12.5, 210, 12.5. Money's down, 12.5. 212 and a half, 212 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 215, 15, 15, 17 and a half, 20, 222 and a half, 5, 25, 5, 7 and a half, 230, 30, 30, 30, 32 and a half, 2 and a half, 25, 7 and a half, 240, 242 and a half, 5, 247 and a half, 247 and a half, 247 and a half, 245, and that's Mr. Monroe. 230, now 5, turn light bread, 230, now money, now 5, 235, 40, 245, 50, 255, 255, 255, 255, 60, 265, 270, 275, 280, 285, 285, 285, 280, Tom, number 1. 6 months bread. 700 by the head, now a quarter. 700 on the money, now quarter, 9, that's 800 and a quarter. 8 and a quarter. 800 by the head. Now half, now 75. 900, now quarter, now half, now 75. $975, $1,000 and a quarter, $1,000 and a quarter half, $1,075, $1,100 and a quarter, $11 and a quarter, $11 half, $11 half, $75, $1,200, $1,200 and a quarter, $12 and a half, $12 and a half, $12.75, $13 $13 and a quarter, quarter half, $13 half, $75, $13.75, $14 and a quarter, $14 half, $14 half, $14 half, $14.25. Tom won by the head. She is light bread. 135, 137, 135, money 79, 40, 141, every 1, 2, with a 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, with a 5, with a 6, 47, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, 147, 146, Lone Star.
Oh, we're on the next one? Well, my numbers are right. Yeah, you're right. It is Chuck Jones. I'm sorry. Chuck Jones. From where? Lubbock.
Lubbock.
It's got a Lubbock address.
Same thing about 4 on. Andy, hold that cow on the scale.
Don't say nothing about nothing. I'm trying to see where I'm at. I haven't lost these cows off. We got 2 more here. No, we got another cow and a bull calf back there.
Total.
You gonna call them?
No, I'm about tired of calling. Y'all are on your own. 150.
115 now 1. 150 hit with 1 not a 1. Mining 1. 151 2. 153 4 5 6 7 1 1 7 not 8. 159 59 60 1 number 1 not a 1 2 3 64 5 6 6 not a 7 not a 7 not a 8 not a 8 not a 9 not a 9 not a 70 1 171 2 2 3 4 5 6 7 78 not a 9 not a 80 1 2 3 4 5 86 87 88 89 90 1 1 2 92 3 3 192 fry 10 baby tooth light bread 14 now by the head now 15 now 16 now 17 now 18 now 19 $2,000 now 21 22 23 4 25 2600 2700 $27 26 27 26 $2700 $2700 787 2600 Monroe. Got a bull, $3.30 now 5, $3.30 on the money now 5, $3.35, $3.30 now 5, 40, $3.40 now 5, $3.50, $3.50, $3.50, $3.50, $3.45 capital number 45, 35.
Now it's that Monroe. A cow and 4 calves.
$3.40 now 5, $3.40 now 5, $3.40 now 5, money 5, $3.45, 50, 50 now 5, $3.55, 55, 60, 365, 70, $3.75, 80, 80, 85, 55, 55, 55, 55, $3.80, Troy 4. Young cow, light bread. Okay, sell the cow by the head, 18 half, 1900. 18 half, 19, now 2000, now 21 2, 21 and a half, 21 and a half, 2200 and a half, 22 and a half, 23, 23 and a half, 24, 24 and a half, 25, 25 and a half, 26, 26 and a half, 2600 and a half, 2600 and a half, and a half, 26 and a half, 2600, show 15, show 15. Half row there, 360 now 5. On money now 5, but it was 365, 70, now 5, now 80, but 5, 90, but 5, but 95, $4, but 5, but 405, $4. Troy 21. Seven here, 240 now 5. 240 on the money now 5. 245, 245, 240 now 5, 5, 5, 5, but 550. 250 now 5, 255, 60, 270, 70, 75, 275, 75, 75, 270, Russell 3.
This is double A from Roscoe. First time cash. What does it say on the first time cash? FRS. PF called it. PF called it.
coming up with their first calf. Okay, double A cattle from Roscoe. $265, 7.5. $265, 7.5. 3 head by the scales, 7.5. $265, 600. 600 bit of $265. First time to town. $265, $266. $250 now on the money. Now $246. $256. $256, 8. $260. $260. $260. $260. $2. One help. $261. $260. Show date. 19. Show 19. Okay, sell 2 light bread. Okay, been running with low birth weight bulls. 22.5 by the head, now 3. 22.5, 2,300. 22.5, 23. $2,300 on the money, now 3. Now half. 24, 24.5. 24.5. 24.5, 5. 2,500. 2,500. 25.5. 25.5. 25.5. 25.5. 2,500. 2,500 Monroe by the head to Monroe. Okay, double liner. $2 now 2. $2 now 2. $2 on the money now 2 4. 2 4 2 6 8. 2 8 10 12 14 16 18 20 222 224 26 228 230 230 now 2 2 2 $2 230 show number 8. All right, I guess that's it. That's all. Thank everybody. Appreciate the business. Thank you for being here. Be back next Thursday morning, 9 a.m. That was a sheep sale. Oh, and this heat. Yeah, them old sheep don't want to move. How's it going?